All right, guys, welcome to another live session of the Watercraft Journal on this Monday night. I am the editor-in-chief of the Watercraft Journal. My name is Kevin Shaw. Thank you for tuning in. We got a small group already coming in. Today is going to be pretty light and easy going. Nothing has really been prepared, primarily because all the air is being sucked out of the room as to what I've got planned for our other magazine this week, and that is the Holly Mo Party, all Mopar event that's happening this Friday through Sunday, and that is the biggest event of the year for our magazine. We have a big 30 by 80 booth, and we're having 4 cars on display and doing seminars, tutorials. We're giving away $1,200 worth of prizes and stuff. We're having a big scavenger hunt for the family, all sorts of jazz. So my mind has been occupied doing that. So I apologize that I do not have anything truly prepared. My microphone is all cattywampus. Okay, sorry about that. So we are going to be kind of taking it easy today. I'm going to go over a couple things we got coming up on the channel. I'll show you what prizes we got, and then I will take your super chat questions. And the super chat questions that get me rolling the most will win a prize. Because I'm giving away all sorts. I'm giving away stuff. All right, so upcoming videos on the channel, upcoming videos. First, this Thursday, I threw together a very quick 2-minute uncut of footage taken from the test ride, test session that I had with the 2024 Sea-Doos. This is of specifically the new GTR-X 300. I think a lot of people are going to not understand what the GTX-R 300 or GTX, GTR-X 300 alphabet soup. The GTR-X 300, I think a lot of people do not know what that ski is going to be. And they're going to buy it thinking it's one thing, and it is certainly not. And my review of it, which I'm spending a lot of time, and my editors and my video team are spending a lot of time putting together. So I'm not going to give away the farm here tonight as to reviews, but I will talk about these machines if you want me to with a super chat. I see people asking questions. I'm not going to address those questions. I'm doing this for super chats to give away prizes. All right. So Thursday is a 2-minute tease of the GTR-X 300. Then we also are working on the Benelli Baraska review. And that one's interesting. They advertise a top speed of 78 miles an hour. Our testing, we were able to tickle 75. We had a lighter rider, but more gas. So it's a little bit of a trade. But that's not to say that Benelli's claims for speed are wrong or that they're lying. I do not believe that. I just believe that circumstances can vary. So the Benelli is coming out. I want it to be this week, but I think it's going to end up being early next week. Then, of course, we have a quartet of reviews. I was out at Beaver Lake, Arkansas this last week, and I was able to ride 5 new 2024 Sea-Doos. I only did reviews of 4. The 5th is the Switch Limited 230, and I simply couldn't squeeze in another review. I simply couldn't squeeze in more on that. If you guys are interested in me doing a Sea-Doo Switch limited 230 review, I can probably knock it out over the off season, over November, December. That is not, that's not a problem. Yes, I did ride the GTR-X 300. I did ride both 325s. That is the RXT-X 325, RXP-X 325. I also did ride the new Trixx model with Trixx mode, which is just allows you to romp on the throttle a little bit harder than sport mode. That, and you can get full throttle on reverse. So that's that. Those reviews are coming out, but I was going to poll what you guys wanted first. Of those 4 skis, which one do you guys want first? I presume one of the 325s. I'm presuming PX, but you let me know. We'll vote. If you guys in the comment section want the Trixx first, or the GTR-X first, or the RXT-X first, leave a comment right now. It doesn't have to be a super chat, but let me know which one you want. I'm pretty sure I know which one, and I'm waiting on some footage for some people, or from the Sea-Doo video team who were there. But if I get overwhelming majority, I will change my production schedule. So, all right, knock that out, knock that out, knock that out. I wanted to address something, and I'm going to have to cue it up here in a second. Watercraft Journal, we published last week an article that I think a lot of people did not read. Excuse me. People read, but they did not absorb the information. And I think it's important that I talk about it. So I'm going to bring it up here on the screen. And I want to go over this one real quick. All right. This article that went up on September 5th, so it was a little less than a week ago. This one is rather interesting to talk about. And that is a class action lawsuit was filed against Yamaha Motor Corporation USA in regards to the fuel gauge, the fuel alarm, and the connect screen resetting every time you turn the engine off. And a lot of people just kind of read the headline and knee-jerk reacted. The issues with the Yamahas are legit. The issues with the Yamahas are of a concern. I talked with representatives from Sea-Doo, and I talked with Representative Kawasaki today. And both of them said the exact same thing. They said, hey, you know, don't really like bringing light to the lawsuit. Kind of wish you'd keep it quiet, even though it's against Yamaha, it's not against us. Speaking of Sea-Doo and Kawasaki, respectively, they just kind of puts things in a negative light. And I had to reiterate the fact that although the issues being addressed in the first 3 paragraphs are actual issues that are happening, the lawsuit itself, which I hyperlink in the article, is of the lowest tier, most egregiously frivolous that I could possibly imagine. Here's what happens with lawsuits. What makes or breaks a lawsuit, what makes or breaks any lawsuit, is provable damages. You must have damages. You must prove that damage has been done either to yourself, injury. Okay. That's why you have ambulance chasing, these guys, like, hey, have you been in a car accident? Have you had a, malpractice or medical injury or, have you spilled coffee in your lap? It's not your fault. Let me tell you how you can make millions. Okay. You must be able to prove damages. This guy's complaints, his list of damages include annoyance and inability to enjoy his wave runner. No judge in this country is going to take this lawsuit. No lawyer is going to take this remotely close seriously. No one is going to take this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, I left the punchline out. Not only. Okay, so the class action lawsuit, it's 11 pages long. You read this. He says, oh, we've got 40 signatures. Well, there's more. There's 4,000 disgruntled Yamaha owners out there who would happily be involved, who would happily sign on to this. Okay? Because they want Yamaha to provide an update. That's all they want. Okay? They just want a digital update. They want to take it to the dealership, have them plug in their laptop, and it updates, connects, and says, okay, hey, listen, it's no longer going to zero out your fuel data. And we did a small digital patch that will elongate the running time, or will try to calibrate the fuel gauge. Does it fix it? Probably not, but it's slightly better. Okay, that's a good start. I think most people here who have grievances with their Yamaha fuel indication issues would seriously just go, hey, listen, I'll happily bring it into the dealership if there is a software patch. Sign me up. That sounds great. Okay. But the lawsuit, this hilariously stupid lawsuit, which is getting all this traction, is saying it was annoying, and so I'm taking you to court. And I took it to Nielsen Motorsports or Nielsen Power Sports or whatever the hell Nielsen's is, and Nielsen's Enterprises, excuse me. I had a brain fart. I take it to Nielsen's, and Nielsen's goes, hey, man, we have no patch for it. We have no solution for it. So now he's mad at Nielsen's. And it's like, well, now I'm mad at Yamaha. So now I'm going to sue Yamaha because I can't enjoy it. And I've got 40 signatures behind me. And by the way, I personally want $5 million. So this guy, because he's annoyed, wants $5 million. And then whatever else the judge sees fit for the class action lawsuit for everyone else. This lawsuit is a joke. This lawsuit is a joke. All right. The only thing I would like to see, the only thing that I, in being involved in the industry, would like to see come of it is someone takes a lighter underneath the butt of whoever's in charge of the Connect system and says, can you come up with a software patch for this? Can you fix this somehow? Can you get it so it doesn't zero out when you pull the lanyard? Number one, easy solution. Work on that one. Second one, okay, hey, listen, the rheostat in, the actual fuel float needs to be recalibrated. We can't do that through Connects. Okay. Then you say, hey, listen, we can only change this for the old ones, and new ones, we've paid our supplier to recalibrate the rheostat so that it will give a better, more accurate signal. Will it be perfect? No. I mean, I was talking to guys at Cowie, and Cowie's like, well, we're just as bad. I go, no, you're not. No, you're not. I've tested this. All right. It's not perfect, but there's still 7.5 gallons in that tank. Well, yeah, we have so much, but you're starting with 21.5 gallons. This is not the same as an 18-gallon tank. And the guys at Cowie are like, oh, well, we thought we were just as bad. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not. And I will literally stand before a firing squad and testify that Sea-Doo and Cowie aren't as bad as this. And that's okay. All right. That's fine. Not everyone's perfect. It's all right. But just make some effort. Just make a visible sign of effort. And that's all any attention will hopefully throwing some sunshine on this and sharing this obscenely stupid, ridiculous lawsuit will hopefully result in Yamaha going, fine, you're forcing us to spend a little bit of man hours and a little bit of product testing to get this right. Okay, that's it. It should have been right the first time. You need to fix it now. Fix it. And you'll have a lot of really happy people. Yeah. Hey, and by the way, okay, so Brian goes, wow, there's 7.5 gallons in. Listen, man, and that's when you're at throttle, okay, it might be 8.5 gallons because the fuel moves, okay? And when you let off the throttle, it's going to even off. Sometimes it'll only be 5 gallons of gas in the bottom of the fuel tank. It all depends, all right? The Cowie does suck gas, and, you know, you want to be smart about, you know, you want to know your range. You know, hopefully you know your range. That's number one. Know your machine. But guys, when we shared this ridiculous lawsuit up, it was only to put a little bit of fire under Yamaha's butt to help satisfy and appease their loyal product owners, you know, Yamaha owners. You want your people to be happy. You don't want them going on to Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or Twitter and bitching your name. I mean, unless you don't care. I mean, I can't imagine any manufacturer wouldn't care. And so that's, you know, that's it. So, all right. So there's that. I saw a super chat. So let's get to the super chats. We got Chuck Perkins. He writes, the drive system of a PWC is 1-to-1. If a naturally aspirated engine can spin 8,000 RPMs and a supercharged engine spins the same RPMs, why is the forced induction ski faster for the top speed? Good question. All right. There is ultimately it's thrust. All right. Ultimately it's thrust. And how much thrust can you generate? And for example, I'll give you a really good example. The brand new 2024 Sea-Doo GTR-X 300 has the Ace 300 engine or 300 Ace engine in it. Does not come with the same size jet pump as last year's RXP-X 300. That one is 161 mil or 161 millimeters diameter. Different pitched prop or impeller. Shouldn't say prop. Excuse me. I know Greg Gaddis is cursing my name when I say prop. And the 2024 GTR-X 300 has the 155 mil. All right. With a different pitch impeller. And there's a couple reasons for that. Okay. First is how well can that hull and how well can that pump tunnel and that pump process that water and generate thrust. Okay. Back in 2000, well, heck, all the way back to 2008, 2009, and really predominantly with the 2014 SVHO models of the FZR, you are seeing a lot of the Yamaha FZRs beginning to pump stuff. And pump stuffing, you know, let me bring up your question. I'm sorry, Chuck. I should have brought that up earlier. Pump stuffing is the effect of the water rushing in to the intake grate and into the pump cannot be processed fast enough. And so it literally creates a pressurized pocket inside of the intake grate, meaning that no more water can be processed in or be pulled in, and it immediately loses traction and it unhooks. And in worst case scenarios, a lot of people were experiencing such severe pump stuffing that it would unhook the tail and guys would get ejected. All right. So that's when a lot of people were having to do modifications to their pump. They were doing modifications to the intake grate. This is where you saw a lot of people getting wise to the Lucky 13 pump cone, because the pump cone was allowing water to process faster through the stator and through the venturi. And water can compress, and when it compresses, it gets dense and it gets hard. And that's literally what was happening inside of that pump tunnel. That's why a lot of high performance guys are splitting and pressurizing and breaking and cracking their pump tunnel. All right. You're seeing fissure cracking in all sorts of Yamahas because the material is so soft and the material is so weak. And so it breaks and it splits and it cracks and it starts to balloon. You are seeing some hazing. Hazing is the right word. Or excuse me, not hazing. Crazing. C-R-A. Crazing. Crazing of the acrylic around the intake grate of the RXP-X and RXT-X with guys who are making a lot of extra power, and they're beginning to overstuff the pump. So really, it's like a car. Yeah, it's not so much about the engine as it is the power going to the tires. You can make all the power in the world, and if you got hard truck tires on your muscle car or your project car or whatever you got, it's never going to hook. It's never going to go fast. You're just going to haze those tires. Now, interestingly enough, then you get people who are intentionally trying to overpower those rear tires, and that is effectively the drifting community. They're not using super sticky tires. They're using different harder compounds so that they intentionally overpower those tires, and they're using sticky compounds on the front and maybe harder compounds for the rear because they want to get that hard drift, and they're allowing that tire spin to be a controlled slip. Does that make sense? Hopefully I answered your question. Thank you for the super chat, Chuck. All right, David, we got a super chat from David. He writes, 2022 FX SVHO went 15 miles and 40 minutes into the buzzer, only put 14 gallons in. Yeah. Again, back to the point that I'm seeing some inconsistencies from a lot of people in regards to the fuel gauge and the low fuel alarm. I'm seeing people who are like, dude, I rode for an hour and it didn't move but one bar. And then all of a sudden it went from, I think it's a total of 8 bars, 8 segments. And it'll be like, oh, I'm at 7. And all of a sudden you'll go all the way down to 3 in just a breath. And you're like, what the hell just happened? And what that means is that the rheostat, and for you guys who need to know what a rheostat is, bring this up. Yeah, potentiometer. I've always grown up with rheostat. It's a resistor. But a potentiometer is more correct. Yes. I will give you that. The potentiometer is technically more correct. I've always heard on a fuel pickup or a fuel float, a rheostat. Potentiometer, if I'm not mistaken, has 3 terminals. But Yeah, the same thing with a rheostat is basically an adjustable resistor. You can see the definition here from Encyclopedia Britannica. And that is what that's doing is on a, I don't have a fuel float. I literally would run to the garage and go get you guys one. I know I had an extra one, but I think I sold it. Was when the fuel's high, there's a float. There's literally a sealed, typically a plastic, like a little buoy. And as that buoy sinks with the fuel level, so does the arm, and it's attached to an arm. And that arm is attached to the rheostat. And the rheostat is what's sending the signal or the resistance signal through the positive line, communicating to the fuel gauge. And the fuel gauge is saying, oh, okay, hey, listen, it's only at half level, it's at a quarter, it's at full, whatever. And the problem is that the signal that's coming from the rheostat to the gauge, however that's communicated, and you can think analog like an old 55 Chevrolet, or you can think entirely digital like a modern Ferrari, that signal is going to communicate to the fuel gauge the level. And for whatever reason, there is either old school analog, thinking like an old car, there's what you would call a blind spot in that rheostat where it just does not communicate a proper resistance level. And so the fuel gauge goes, hey, we're fine, everything's great, we're at 7 bars or 8 bars. And then all of a sudden it gets down to here and it goes, holy crap, we're half full. And then it sets off the alarm and everyone goes, whoa, what happened to half my tank? That's the problem with the rheostat. And that's the problem with the resistance signal going to the dash. So, David, thank you for the super chat. Sorry to hear about it. I know a lot of guys really want to see it get fixed. All right. Got a great one from Jesse. Jesse writes, Kevin, love your videos. Question on the new Ultra LX and X. As far as handling and acceleration, how do they differ? Also, is the X seating too close to the bars without the adjustable seat that the LX has? Love your videos. Jesse, all right. What I immediately felt, what I immediately caught on to was, if you guys watched the video with Craig Warner, Craig was a big advocate of neutral, if not one trim level up for offshore racing. Not all the way up. He didn't like it all the way up. But then again, he had a ride plate. He had some other adjustments. But if you are looking at cutting corners, if you're looking at long or sweeping turns or sharp S turns, this is where you will feel the deck extension, the Ultra deck. Same thing with the Fish Pro deck or the Explorer Pro deck. Is that in a corner, in a turn, you have here's your Watercraft. Here we go again. All right. I got this microphone right in my face. Sorry. Here we go. If you extend the surface, now it's not at the bottom of the hull, it's at the top of the hull. But when you're in a corner, you've now extended the bond rail. All right. And that bond rail extended surface now acts as a tail because there's no hull underneath it. So it can catch and it can resist. Most people that I've encountered never turn sharp in their lives. They don't know how to do it. They don't put the body English into it. And so they'll never feel it. They fart around. They go, whoa, look at this. It's so much fun. I'm glad I bought a GT or a GP 1800R SVHO so I can ride 40 miles an hour. And I can go la, 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 and listen to my music. Most people do not ride as hard as these machines are designed to do. But on the LX, LXS, you get into a hard corner, you will feel that tail have extended drag. It will have an extension that will catch. All right? You will. That is why Yamaha put the rec deck above the rear deck. It does not touch water under any circumstances. And it's tapered in. So even the bond rail, You get hard on a VX with a rec deck, or a GP with a rec deck, or a FX with a rec deck. Your rec deck will never make contact with the water surface. It won't. Someone at Yamaha knew better. And I give all the credit in the world to the hull designers and the guys who designed the rec deck, because the rec deck is not touching the water. Now, I'm not worried about the water intrusion or anything like that. What I'm touching on is actual interference with the hull itself. It interferes with the hull's ability to corner and manage a sharp turn. And that is the difference. In regards to the seat, the X seat, the standard 310X seat, is pretty stinking flat. So you can slide back. Now, I'm 6'2" and 245 pounds. Nothing's going to stop me, all right? Those little lumpy, little goofy things very rarely stand in my way. I will sit on it like a hemorrhoid donut if I have to. But I did not encounter anything. I personally prefer the 310X because I want the flat seat. Flat seat allows me to move around, slide back, slide forward. That little whoop-de-doo bump is not stopping me. All right. But if I find that the X seat is forcing my 6'2" frame too far forward, I'll drop the cash and get the adjustable seat mounts. You get 3 of them. You buy 2 for the back and 1 for the front, and now you can move your seat back. Now, all it is a little square receiver with 3 holes in it. It's available. Kawasaki, any parts supplier, Kawasaki. RivaRacing.com has the whole OE catalog. The Green Hulk Performance Store has the whole OE catalog, or you can go and buy it directly from Kawasaki. The people who keep going on to Facebook and going, where do I buy these parts? It's like, well, you can go to your dealer, but obviously you're terrified of your dealer. So you'd rather look like a horse's ass and get onto Facebook and have everyone yell at you for going, dude, look, do a modicum of research. But most people won't, so whatever. So Jesse, I hope that answers your question. Thank you for the super chat. All right. We got another super chat. Got a great one. Jack writes, picked up the wife's GT-X on Friday. Went on a 150-mile ride Saturday. Come to find out, her hands are too small for the throttle position lever. Does someone make an extension for the throttle lever? No. Throttle position lever. You mean the actual throttle trigger? Was that 15 years ago? A guy, an old boy, was making these throttle position triggers called the easy throttle. And the easy throttle would slide onto your throttle, and it would have a little set screw. You just tighten it down with an Allen. And he wanted out of it. He hit me up when we first started. He goes, Kevin, I want to advertise for a year. Help me find someone to buy it. I said, sure. And I got him in contact with SPT. I got him in contact with Riva. I got him in contact with a whole mess of people. Riva didn't want to buy his product, but they were happy to sell it. SPT, I believe, bought it from him. SPT does not have it listed. You can go on right now and find an easy throttle extension. That's ATV thumb. Here, let's bring this up just for you guys who are curious. For Jack. All right. This is literally a 5-second search. No. Easy throttle. I did a Google search for easy throttle. Because when you bring up easy throttle extension, you'll get articles. You'll get a YouTube. And the YouTube video, I bet you, is 100 years old. Let's let that. Grainhope.net, Easy Throttle extension. Another article from Easy Throttle was on Amazon. Wow, easythrottle.com. Let's go to easythrottle.com. Let's see if it works. Okay, something's wrong with this. I'm not doing a security check. Sorry. Let's see if it brings it up. Ha! Nope. Website's dead. Yep. Website's dead. But yeah, 9 years ago. This guy's out of business. Let's go to Amazon. Throttle extender. That's for a thumb. ATVs. Nope. Thumb throttle. Ugh, I hate thumb throttles. I really do. I think they're the worst. Yep. Easy Throttle is out of business. Yeah. Sorry, Charlie. Got bad news for you, buddy. They are out of business. That was weird. I pushed the wrong button. Sorry, Jack. But yeah, Easy Throttle's out of business. No one does it. All right. We need to go over today's prizes. I got 3 prizes. 3 prizes. And I'm ending this in an hour. Okay, number 1. We've got a traditional snapback Yamaha with the GP on the front. Never worn. It's been in a storage tub, so I think it's got like some lint on it. Sorry, it's a little dirty. But I did not wear it, and it's not in the trash. Trust me, it's just got fuzz on it. But yeah, it's an official Yamaha. It's an official Yamaha cap, snapback cap in Yamaha blue. Second, pardon the box. The box got a little wet, but the materials inside are still good. A brand new set of, I haven't even opened these up, floating Sea-Doo sunglasses with looks like a neoprene strap. All right. They got these nice traditional looking, regular looking sunglasses. You can wear them and not look like a doofus. All right. They're polarized. They're pretty good looking. And they have the little neoprene little strap on the back so you won't lose them. They do float. These do float. These are floating sunglasses. At least what I was told. So, floating sunglasses. The last one, I think, are the best things. And these are official Dragon polarized floating sunglasses. These are the H2O polars. Yeah, these are bitchin'. I really like these. All right. Oh my gosh, they fit nice. Oh, these fit really nice. There we go. Yeah, I like these. All right. Comes with a little sock. It's got the all right. Comes with a sticker. You got a sticker. And apparently it comes with an instruction manual. because you people are idiots and need to have instruction manuals for sunglasses. Wow. All right, I'm going to put these away. So let's see. Let's go back and let me look at who my good super chats were. Oh, I also got this if anyone wants it. It is a $100 wine voucher for Naked Wines. Whoever likes wines, $100 wine voucher. I got this from Summit Racing. If you guys want it, it's yours. All right, so I got 4 things here. All right, let's take a look. We had a super chat from Chuck. Chuck was asking about impellers. David asked about, he didn't even ask a question. He just commiserated about his FX. Jesse was the good one about the Cowie. And Jack asked about the easy throttle. All right. Oh, Billy's here, everyone. Hey, Billy. Everyone take a drink. I didn't even see him come in. Hot snot. Billy's here. All right. Texas don't do wine imports. Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Of you super chatters, which one of you wants the hat? Can you read the instructions on the sunglasses? That's pretty funny. Which one of you super chatters wants the hat? Pipe up now. Oh, Chuck needs some floating sunglasses. David got the super chat. All right. David, you're getting the hat. Email me for the hat. It's yours. All right. You guys need to know what my my email address is. info@watercraftjournal.com. info@watercraftjournal.com. In fact, here we go. Show. Email at info@watercraftjournal.com. I have a banner for it. Okay. Now, okay, so David gets the hat. I think Chuck had the impeller question. Chuck, you don't have a Sea-Doo. You have a Cowie. But Jesse has a Cowie. And Jesse got me talking longer. Who do I give the dragons to? Arash didn't have a question. He just had support. But I'll thank him anyway. I'll give him the line. Who gets the dragon sunglasses, guys? You vote. I'll let you guys vote. Who gets those? Who gets the dragon sunglasses? Does Jesse get the sunglasses or does Chuck? These are for the dragons. You guys have to say it. I want to see it. You get to decide. I'm giving it away. The Cowie rider. They're both Cowie riders. That's why I'm not giving them the Sea-Doos. Henry, yes, I'll see. I saw your question. I'll get to it in a second. I know Chuck wants. Fine. Okay. Well, it looks like Jesse isn't even here. So if I'm not getting a response out of Jesse, all right, Chuck, you got yourself some dragons. All right, Chucky gets the dragons. Chuck, email me at the address in the ticker down below. Email me your address so I can send them to you. Otherwise, you ain't getting them. All right. Who was last? Or should I just hang on for the all I have left are the Sea-Doo sunglasses. Hey, yo, Mikey. Yeah, okay. Wait a minute. I got some super chats here. Okay. Mikey comes in with a super chat. Mikey writes, has the bow hunting tendencies of the RXP-X finally been resolved with the addition of the hydraulic steering? Kinda. The hull is still the hull. The hull hasn't changed. But the damper, the hydraulic damper, does give the rider better input and less hunting, because you were putting, as a rider, you were putting a lot of input in. The damper absorbs a lot of that. So, and I have to laugh. I mean, I knew it was going to be standard. I knew it was either going to be optional or standard equipment for 24. But everyone had to run out and go get an Apex. And I was like, dude, that's $4,000. That's $5,000 that you could spend on other stuff. But whatever. So yeah, that was and it's interesting because we talked to the guys at Sea-Doo, Greg Gaddis and I, and really neat guy Charles, who's been riding for Pro Rider. He actually is a racer. He's a stand-up racer. And he goes, guys, this is literally my second time on a sit down. And he's like, I just ride stand-ups. He's a professional stand-up rider. And we were talking about the damper. And the damper has settings 1 through 3. The problem is that even at 1, there is still resistance. And you can tell when you get on any of the other skis. There is 1-to-1 response. The RXP-X eats up a lot of that. And what is interesting, and what I suggest anyone who has got half a brain who wants one of these things, anyone who has got half a brain who wants to install retroactively the hydraulic damper, here's what you do. Take a page from the old car guys and wait for all the jackwagons who buy the brand new 325 RXP-X, but they go and put the Riva steering neck on it, or they go and they put the new UMI on it, and they take the hydraulic damper off. That's when you hit them up. That's when you go, dude, how much would you sell that to me for? All right. Anytime you see someone who's modding out a brand new 325, hit them up and say, I really want that steering dampener for my steering damper. I keep throwing an N in there. I don't know why. Hit them up and say, I'll give you $50 for that, or I'll give you $100 for that, or whatever. Name your price and hit them up. All right. I say 95% of people out there will absolutely love it. And here's the thing: that steering neck will go on everything. They'll go on everything. I did the video 2 weeks ago. It'll go on, and you'll love it. All right. Now, you guys with ST3s, you have a slightly different problem because you're taking you're taking the tilt steering apart and you're installing it, and there's going to be some extra steps to that. But for anyone with an RXP-X, anyone with a GTR, anyone with a GTR-X, you can buy another man's one man's trash is another man's treasure. Jump on this. I would do this if I was so inclined and had a ski. I would be on Facebook going, I'd be looking for dudes going, I've already put my order in. I'm already, ready to roll on a 325 RXP-X. I'd message them and go, hey, listen, what are you planning on doing? Oh, I'm going to change this and this and this and this. Are you going to put a Riva system on? Are you going to put a work system on? Are you going to put a whoever's steering system on. Oh, yeah. How much will you sell me the steering damper for? Hit them up. Because whatever they charge you is going to be less than what it's going to cost you to buy it from a wholesale parts dealer. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please pay attention to this. Mikey, you got me talking about Sea-Doos. If you want these floating sunglasses, if you want them, email me your address. The email is being listed below. I will send you these floating sunglasses. All right. Let's see what other super chats we got. Arash, thank you for the support. Chad Hughes, $5. Can you read the instructions of the sunglasses? You gave me money. Do you really want me to read them? Waste everyone's time? Because I'm out of here in 9 minutes. Kevin, what? Let's see here. Show. Kevin, what is your favorite Sea-Doo so far? 2008 RXP-X 255 all time. That one, box stock, that one was the most fun. Second on that list is 2012 GTR 215. That one is a riot. I probably had more smiles and laughs on that ski than any other Sea-Doo. If you are talking about the 2024 models, the RXP-X 325 is impressive, especially mid-range pull, impressive. But I had way more fun on the GTR-X 300. I had way more fun on the GTR-X 300. I mean, I'd buy that one. I would. So thanks for the super chat on that one. From Kevin, no less. All right, thank you. Woo! We skipped ahead. Oh, Kevin wants the wine? Kevin, do you want the wine card? It's all yours, dude. Email me your address. All right? It's from Summit Racing, but it was a gift from the guys at Summit Racing. So I do a lot of work with Summit Racing. They're advertisers of mine, and they give me these $100 vouchers. So email me your mailing address, and I'll send this in an envelope. It's all yours, buddy. Thanks for the super chat. All righty. Normally, giveaways on live streams look like Hunger Games. That's pretty funny. RXP-X 315, brief review. There's no such thing as a 315. My review is that it's non-existent. Hey, yo, Mikey, do you think the 2021 FX with Nano XL2 hull can withstand the punishment of P1 Aqua X, or is that more solid second hull for the okay. Mikey, I think you asked me this before, and I addressed it before, but I'll do it again. There were plenty of guys who were racing with the Nano 2 hull. All right. There were plenty of guys. The problem is that they're running their crap up the beach, running their crap up the bunks, and they were just beating the snot out of it. Second of all, racers live and die by their hulls. So they were studiously going through and watching for cracks, watching for fissures, paying attention to the health of their ski. Believe it or not, racers, you know what? I can't say that. Maybe I should. I'm a firm believer that most racers look more closely at their skis than consumers do, because they're making money off, trying to make a living or trying to make some money out of their racing. So if there's cracks all up and down their hull, they're like, dude, I got to fix this and I got to fix it fast. All right. So, I think you could go out and I think you could be successful. You just need to watch it like a hawk. If you are in the position where you can choose, I would go FMC fiberglass. Problem is, the FMC fiberglass FX is slower than the Nano. because you're talking about, I think it's like 54 pounds or 52 pounds difference. So you have more weight. More weight means more drag. But more drag in this instance also means firmer riding hull. Look at Tori Snyder. Tori Snyder is kicking ass on an FX. Look at Dustin Farthing. He's not on a nano hull. Dustin is leading the series on an SMC hull. And thus far, to my understanding, has not delaminated or fractured a hull. So take that for what it's worth. Learn from other people's experience. Mikey, thank you for that. Again, if you want the Sea-Doo sunglasses, they are yours. Another one from Mikey. All right. I heard Riva is having trouble getting into the ECU of the new RXP-X. Is that true? Yes. It's not great. But it's not just Riva. About 2 years ago, BRP worked a contract with Bosch for ECUs. And they were first applied onto the Can-Ams, into the Mavericks. And they're making their way through the rest of the lineup. Only the 325s for now are running the Bosch ECUs. While at the press intro of the new Sea-Doos, I talked with the head of Rotax Engineering. He said even the SCOM would not work with this. I do not know that to be a fact. He might be just misleading me. I don't know. I can't imagine he would, but I don't know. He could be lying to me. I don't know. Maybe he didn't understand what I said. But the Riva SCOM, my understanding was that the Riva SCOM did not have any real relation to the ECU in as much as interrupting the GPS signal from the dashboard to the ECU. Whether the SCOM will work or not, I do not know. As far as reflashing goes, no one can reflash the ECU. I got into it with a guy who, some no-name jackwagon out of Florida, I don't know who he is. I don't know. Some guy was going at me, screaming at me about an aftermarket tuner called Evo, who claims to have cracked the code on the Bosch ECU. So I asked around. I reached out to HP Tuners, who are the industry leader on aftermarket tuning software. These are the guys who got into the Fiat Hellcat, for a lot of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, but got into the Fiat ECUs that were locking everyone out. They're the ones who figured it out. HP Tuners is considered a high mark. They're better than Map Tuner. They're better than Riva. They're better than they pay big, giant money for this kind of stuff. Talk to Chris Holt at HP Tuners, and they're like, dude, yeah, we're not in there. I go, really? What about these guys? And he says, oh, Evo? It wasn't Chris. Excuse me. No, yeah, it was Chris. Anyway, it was Christopher. They said Evo is physically prying open the case. They are physically removing a processor and soldering in an older processor, permanently modifying the board and permanently modifying the tune. And it also doesn't have a good track record. I said, okay, now mind you, that's from a competitor. But I also asked around to some other people who were not so forthright, and they said, yeah, they are physically cracking into the case. You can actually see where they're prying them open with screwdrivers and breaking open the case to get into these things. Do not think that it is a reflash. It is a brain transplant. So, Mikey, thank you for that question. All right, let's get, holy shnikes, we got some more. All right, you guys are going to keep me after an hour, aren't you? All right. Lemel Master Fishing writes, just got a GTR-X 230. Want to go faster, 75 miles per hour. Should I get a 300 or mod the 230? 230 is limited. 230 is the old supercharger. It is not the 300 supercharger. There are limitations to the 230. Don't get me wrong. Green Hulk and Riva will happily sell you parts. Thankfully, the GTX hull is slippery. You can go pretty quick, but you're going to have to make some modifications, more than you would with a 300. So, unfortunately, you're kind of starting at a handicap. You can do it. Don't ask me the recipe to do it. I don't really know. A reflash will require you to run. I mean, I suggest you always run premium octane with a supercharged ski. I actually run premium octane in everything I own. I mean, I run premium in my lawnmower. I run premium in my pressure washer. I don't buy 87 octane. But there's a lot to it. I think you are I think you got grass is greener syndrome, and you don't need to go 75. But if you want to go, I mean, you're not hitting 70 with that 230. So you can put a SCOM on it, but you're not hitting the speed control mod. You're not hitting the speed control. So there's going to be necessary changes to get you that far. And I think that is going to be that's going to be more work than you want to do. All right. Sometimes I do, Drew, but today I want to make money. That's what super chats are for. I don't do this for altruism. All right. Okay. Henry had a super chat, or Henry had a question that I promised I would take. And let me find it. Here we go, Henry. Henry had emailed me during the week, and I promised if he showed up in the live session that I would take it. Kevin, what was your biggest letdown in your years of reviewing jet skis? I can work my way down if you'd like. Number one was the Explorer Pro. The Explorer Pro was so offensive to what got me into jet skiing. It was such an anathema to what makes jet skiing fun that it literally made me rethink my career. It literally made me go, why am I doing this if this is the future? And it, quite frankly, made me look at the readership of the magazine and the viewership of this channel who liked the Explorer Pro with derision. And that's going to come off incredibly harsh, and that's going to come off incredibly judgmental. But I've given so many reasons why. And the reasons being is that the joy of jet skiing, the joy of this activity is motorized excitement, which always is great, and then being in the environment itself, whether it's hot, whether it's cold, whether it's windy, whether it's still, whether the water is glass, whether it's rough. The best stories I've got to share are the ones where I suffered the most and where I was subject to the environment. And the Explorer Pro completely and totally removes you from that environment. It removes you from any sort of interaction with your environment. And after spending like 2 days on this thing, I'm like, I didn't enjoy myself. I literally did not enjoy this. I don't recall smiling. I don't recall any. The thing. I mean, obviously, I was looking around. We went into St. Augustine. St. Augustine's beautiful. I love U.S. history, and so American history is a favorite topic of mine. So I was able to do that, and I was able to remove myself. But the actual process of riding this machine was so muted and insulated that I had a crisis on the ski. Next to that, the biggest letdown was the reveal of the 310R, the Kawasaki 310R back in 2014. That was such a missed opportunity. That was such a missed opportunity that I think I strained my relationship with Kawasaki because I was so vocal about it. And that, in looking at what that ski could have been. And then I got some bad news for you guys. Kawasaki does not currently, at this moment, feel the urgency to respond to the 325 engines from CD. They are like, nah, okay, that's fine. And I was actually talking with Greg Gaddis today. We were texting back and forth. I was grabbing stuff and I was preparing everything for this big weekend that we have for the car magazine, and that I have the car magazine. And we were texting back and forth, and I said, yeah, apparently Cowie is not terribly hot to trot to try to compete with the RXT-X or RXP-X. And he says, oh, well, I understand that. And I said, I don't. I said, this is their opportunity to strike. Kawasaki has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Quite frankly, if they said, okay, fine, we're going to go tete-a-tete. All right, we're going to go 330, and we're going to up our acceleration time. Okay, great. How do you do that? Well, more horsepower does not mean more top speed. What it means is acceleration, and that's what they're gearing these machines for. Everyone who sits there and goes, that's so stupid of Sea-Doo to make 325 horse. They're not looking for top speed, although they know what's going to happen with the aftermarket. They are appealing to the aftermarket. But in order to keep everyone else happy, they are positioning the RXP-X as being the fastest accelerating personal watercraft on the market. Right now, it's what, 3.5 seconds to 60? I think it's 3.5 or 3.4. Let me say, I have a stock RXP-X 300, 3.6. Stock RXP-X 325, 3.4. Okay. So it's, 3.4. Okay. And of course, Chad pops up. He already has it memorized. Yeah, Paul, I've seen his channel, and he's a nice guy. He's a fan of the channel. I don't hate him. He's a big fan of them. He absolutely thinks they're the best thing, and that's fine. And I know, but the problem is that I'm not good at it yet. I should say it this way. I am not good at putting myself in someone else's shoes who is so far removed from my my ability to make decisions. And it's not Adam Swords. Yeah, Adam loves his Explorer Pro, don't get me wrong, but there is another fella, and he's a nice guy. He's an older gentleman, and he and his wife ride him, and they're tickled with him, and I'm glad he loves them. I'm glad he loves them. I want him. I would hope he enjoyed his purchase, but it is so antithetical to everything that motivates me in regards to this industry, in regards to this sport. Kevin, I literally have the email sliding across the screen continually for the last half an hour. It's literally info@watercraftjournal.com. Don't know what to tell you, brother. Yeah, don't know what to tell you. It's been literally cycling this entire time. So, yeah. That is... Kevin's got you. It's the banner, dude. So, yeah. Yeah, so Explorer Pro, the R, the 310R. The 310R has all the potential of being something exclusive, being a truly race-ready machine. And they gave us green sponsons, a different seat, and an aluminized handlebar. And it was such a middling effort that it just made me sad. I mean, hopefully the new R comes automatically in sport mode. Hopefully it does. It has better launch control. It has, cavitation control. It has everything. Kawasaki has the software to do it. It doesn't require hard parts. They could do it. They could call Riva, they could call Tim Bushman and put a ride plate on it. And they could pick up some mile an hour. But there isn't. 2024 has already been revealed. That's what it is. So, anyway, that has been that's let's see, that was 2014. Oh, I got a good one. 2009, it was 2008 when I got it, but 2009 model was the Honda F15X GPS Scape. The GPS on the Honda itself was fantastic. The hull itself was great. Ergonomically, great, as long as you were sitting down. Standing up, the handlebars are too far low, but that was okay. Unless you were short. If you were short, it was great. Oh, it was awesome. But if you were tall and trying to stand up while riding the Honda F15, you were a hunchback. You were laying over. But the GPS Scape, which had a beautiful paint job, black with this candy apple red, the GPS dashboard was a GPS compass. It was the most agonizing thing to try to program. It was awful. I put my fist through the dashboard. I lied and said I fell off and hit it with my elbow, but I put my fist into the dashboard and broke it. I hated it so much. It's past statute of limitations. It's been 16 years. John Seidel doesn't work there anymore. Oh, well. But yeah, I put my fist into the dashboard. I hated it so much. And I remembered that when it came time to messing with the BRP Go app. BRP Go app isn't as bad as the GPS Scape Dash, but it's pretty damn close. And I've been pretty vocal about that too. All right. Well, the Goldwing Dash. Yes, it did. Yeah, I hated that dashboard. All right. So, Henry, that is the question. Any changes to the GTX lineup? None. Kawasaki was good a year ago. They don't care anymore. Nothing's changed in a year. All right. Kawasaki introduced the 160s for 2024. And, well, no, they were 23. They were mid-year 23. 24, they're going to carry over most of the colors. I doubt there will be very many color changes, if any at all. Do not expect any new units. There will not be an X2. I kind of doubt there will be an R. I think 24 is going to be just second verse, same as the first. So I am not. All right, I'm going to get you this. I'll get this one super chat from Motorsports, and then I'm going to sign out. No. I don't know where on earth you're hearing 62 miles per hour. Never in a million years did they say it was going to go 62 miles an hour. Whoever told you 62 miles an hour, because it's not in any official literature, it's not written in any article that I've written, whoever said 62 either meant kilometers or they're lying to you straight in the face. The best I ever got was 54 miles an hour with a current. And that was like half a tank. So whoever said that to you is lying. It's not on their website. It is not in any official documentation that I've seen. All right, Motorsports. This is going to be the last one. What did you think about the new IBR system responsiveness? Any major changes to rider experience to the Trixx? Tell us more about the GTR-X. IBR, I think they're on their third iteration or fourth iteration. IBR was changed again for Trixx because of the wheel stand and reverse donut mobility. There were some changes that trickled down from the Trixx to other machines. IBR has always worked really good. I've always been happy with IBR. IBR, I think it was like the second iteration of IBR, where it came on so damn hard it would throw you over the front of the bars. They've paced it out, and they're on their fourth iteration now. And I'm very happy with it. I think it's been really good. I think it's gradual, which has been the hardest challenge for them, to be gradual. But then again, I prefer ride over all three of the systems. Yamaha's ride, I believe, is the best. Because I don't like it being a gear lever like IBR. Because IBR is like, here's your throttle at all times. This is your throttle. Yamaha is like, dude, this is it. You know, this is reverse. So you can put your right hand on your head and sit there and go, Wah! I like ride better. But the IBR has worked really well. There was nothing off-putting. There was nothing twitchy about it. And responsiveness was really good. As far as rider experience for Trixx and GTR-X, that is why I'm spending the time and money to put out full-length reviews for you ungrateful shaven monkeys, is so that you will watch those reviews and you will read the longer versions on the website. So thank you for your money. I appreciate that. But the big news will be out later. All right. Kevin found my email. He is now 55 tops for the 160. Yeah, you must be lighter than me, or with the current. So that will be the end of this, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I stayed another 20 minutes longer than I was expecting, for sure. I was really hoping to be done with it, especially after all the prizes ran out. I don't know how we get this many viewers on a live Q&A session, but again, we have the Balassi review coming up in probably a week, and then once I get the finalized artwork, because I have Sea-Doo had a camera crew out there, and we're hoping to get all that jazz very quickly. Once I get all of the art assets, I can send everything off to my video editors. I have 2, and we're going to double team, having them going probably RXP-X first, and then actually, believe it or not, it'll probably be either GTR-X 300 first or Trixx first. Then it'll go RXP-X. And the only reason being is that I have way more footage on the RXP-X, and I'm doing voiceover for the RXP-X because the script is very detailed. There are things that were changed to the RXP-X and the RXT-X that are not being talked about. For example, Sea-Doo redesigned the carbon seal. The actual carbon seal hat and bellows are the same, but they got rid of the C-clip, and now there is a threaded nut that goes on and is indexing and applying pressure onto the carbon seal now instead of just the C-clip. They made some other changes that they're kind of keeping quiet that a lot of people just simply don't know about, and we're trying to extract all that stuff. We got a lot of inside baseball stuff on the new clutch for the supercharger. It is not a clutch. There is not a clutch plate. There is not a pressure plate. There are not multiple clutches. It is an indexing. I don't have the right word for it. It is a keyed indexing locker like you would see in a rear differential. And that supercharger technology is also preloaded with a spring, and that spring is preloading so that the supercharger is not grinding metal on metal, and it's actually indexing and sliding in almost like a spider gear. And yeah, it's pretty much like a spider gear. And that is really impressive to me. That's something new. So, all right. Well, yeah, is it ratcheting? No. Because that requires it to be disconnecting and having kind of it's hard to explain, and I promised Greg I wouldn't show the video that he provided me. But once Greg gets first dig at it, then I'll talk about it and talk about it in more detail. But I'm not going to cut his grass because he's a friend. So there's a lot of inside baseball. We're sitting there like, all right, what do they do here? So there's some really neat stuff, and I'm praying that there's no teething issues. I'm praying that it delivers, because man, when we rode it, it was funny because Greg, we were all getting 70 miles an hour out of these things, and then it would go 70, 69, maybe 68, back to 69, 69, 68, 69, 68, and it was so funny because it's like, hey, how fast are you going at 70 miles an hour? I go 7,700 RPM. And he goes, really? I go, yeah, I'm getting 7,700 RPM. And the red line's at 8,250. And it's doing 70, which means it's got another, it's got a whole lot more RPM left to go. And the speed limiter is like, whoa, hold on there, pal. That's as fast as you can get there, all right, hot shot? And we're like, bro, this thing's got another 5,000 RPM in it. Well, no, not that many. But, I mean, it's got a lot left in it. This thing's got a lot left in it. So, all right. That's enough for tonight. Guys, have a good night. Have a good week. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the support. We appreciate you guys coming in. And Chaos, the RXP-X, not the TX, the PX is getting 78 miles an hour with a SCOM on it. Anthony Raditic has already managed to interrupt the speed control module. He's interrupting the speed control signal, and he's going 78. And that's on a PX, which has more drag than the TX. So maybe the TX is doing 80 with just speed control turned off. All right, guys, have a good night.